Okay, good evening, quizzers. Welcome back to the fourth week. We're doing this now. I think we're up at 84, 85 people already, so that's a great start. Welcome back. Good to see everybody again. Hope you've all had a good, enjoyable, and safe week. Obviously, we were greeted with the news this week that lockdown is going to be extended for another 3 weeks minimum. Hopefully, that will be all that we need to finally get rid of this pesky virus. But it could be good, it could be bad news, but it does mean that there's probably going to have to be another few quizzes, I'm afraid, another few more weeks of this for everybody to enjoy. For those who were following Twitter earlier, there's a little bit of a market formed on what drink we're having today, and I've slightly skewed it. I didn't quite get my cellar finished in time. Well, it is actually the even money favourite that's come in. We're gonna have some red tonight. So cheers to everybody who's here. Obviously, it was quite a nice day today for most people. Nice weather around, wasn't it? And hopefully you were in your garden as well. I had a few drinks in the garden this afternoon. So apologies if we slightly mess up on the quiz, if we get some numbers wrong, etc. But time waits for no man. And speaking of which, we'll just give it another 20, 30 seconds before we crack on, because I see that a few people have left. It's probably to do with me rambling and being a boring old git. But it might just be a few connection issues. Quick rundown for those who haven't come into the quiz before. So welcome. Great to have you on board. Hello again to all the regulars. The rounds we're going to do, there's four rounds, questions, and a picture round, which you should have been allocated already. If not, we'll post a link in the chat. After each question I've asked, they will be repeated in the chat. So have a look there. If your connection drops out or whatever, they should be in the chat there for you. The rounds are, I'm sure many of you will have seen during the week that we've had a few votes. So the first round, as ever, is general knowledge. Round 2 is going to be the music round. That won the vote. I think it's about 60 to 40 that vote. Blockbuster's back for those who missed it for a week or so. Blockbuster is back. Couldn't get rid of it. Can't get rid of a good thing. And good old sport to finish. And obviously the picture questions, which you should have had. If not, we'll post in the chat as we go on. As I say, I'll give the 10 questions for each of the rounds, barring a sport, which is out of 6 questions. And then I'll give you the answers at the end of each of those rounds, and we'll mark them just as we go. Few shout outs. I don't know if you've seen on Twitter, but Trev Edwards, he's done a brilliant introduction video there, and that's well worth a watch if you've seen it. Johnny Fox is back again for a third week. I won't spoil rather who he is this week on his Facebook, but yet again a very amusing 2 or 3 minutes there if anybody wants to head over and look. And a big thank you to Phil Wright as well for allowing us to use the video of him celebrating the Bob Geldof answer from last week. Not that he had much choice. Billy kind of just sent it on, and he's gone viral a little bit with it. I think he's up to about 12,000 views. So thanks very much for that. About 90 people. So without any further ado, let's get on. You're all here to get quizzical rather than listen to me talk. So round 1, eyes down, full house. Question 1, general knowledge. Which jockey rode the most winners in NPR Silks in 2019? No, Emily. Which jockey rode the most winners in NPR Silks in 2019? Those asking, Sprout, he is in here today. He's just having a little nap at the foot of Emily. Which jockey rode the most winners in NPR Silks in 2019? Question number 2. On the periodic table of elements, what element is Cu? Capital C, little u. On the periodic table of elements, what is Cu? There might be a cricket question, there might not. I'm not sure. As you can see, the hair's kind of coming back again, apart from there. It's going back a little bit. Probably could do with a bit of a trim around the sides. Managed to finally get some wax in it today for the first time. Question number 3, a 2-pointer, the first of your multiple answers for tonight. Question number 3. Midland Park currently has 2 national hunt horses rated 144. Name them, 1 point for each. We currently have 2 national hunt horses rated 144. Name them. No Brill cream. But I probably could do with just a little bit of polish or something. But it's a bit. Name the 2 144 rated horses that we currently have. Be nice to have one rated that high on the flat one day. Okay, that might just be a little bit of a tester. You might get one or one or the other, maybe not both. So that might just be one you need to have a little think about. Anyway, we'll move on. Question 4. What was the name of a street in Dallas where JFK was assassinated? What was the name of a street in Dallas, Texas, where JFK was assassinated? There is a big clue I can give, but I'm not sure I will. Might give it away. Could probably do with maybe some live feedback if you've got it actually or not. If not, I'll give the clue. Maybe don't pop the answer, but if you think you've got it, pop it in the chat because there is a big clue I could give you. Moving on, another multiple answer question, throwing the points out already. 8 years ago yesterday, to the date, not the day. 8 years ago to the date, Midland Park Racing had the 1st and 3rd in the Nell Gwyn. Who were they? Point for each. 8 years ago yesterday, Midland Park Racing had the 1st and the 3rd in the Nell Gwyn. Who were they? Bonus point, not no point, but bonus pride, bonus kudos if you can get the starting prices as well. Remember on this one, my old man picked me up from school and I think he was still working at the time. He was still a teacher. Picked me up from school, and we watched it in the bookies on the way down. There's some sales on, obviously the breeze up sales, and we watched it on the way down. And I kind of thought a wrong horse won without giving it away. I'll go into a little bit more at the time. It was quite a fun story to go with that one. Anyway, question number 6. Who plays Ken Barlow on Coronation Street? Who plays Ken Barlow on Coronation Street? Emily's laughing because we've been watching nothing but Corrie all week. We're still catching up. We kind of went a bit quiet for a while. I think we started from mid-January and we've just finished watching an episode which started with the Cheltenham Festival starts tomorrow advertised. So we've got a little bit of catching up to do, so no spoilers, please. But who plays Ken Barlow on Coronation? You're right, Brad. It's been a really fun week. If it's not watching Corrie, it's on PlayStation with them Muppets. I think the slogan ones went down well last week. So question 7, it does exactly what it says on the tin. Is a marketing slogan for which company? It does exactly what it says on the tin. Is a marketing slogan for which company? $97 people on board at the minute. 98. Wonder if I can turn up. 99. Nervous. Dab it at your feet. Run a quick single. Sure, you'll probably run me out. Does exactly what it says on the tin. Is a marketing slogan for which company? Question number 8. A tricky one, this, I think. Who played James Bond in The Living Daylights? Who portrayed James Bond in The Living Daylights? I think that's one of them. You'll either get it or you won't. Yes, like all of them, correct. If you've got the answer, yeah. All right. But you can sometimes work the answer out with a bit of guessing. This one, you'll either know it or you won't. Shouldn't you be doing the horses anyway? Who played James Bond in The Living Daylights? Question number 9. What is 77 in Roman numerals? And if we've got Mike on board, he will probably know the answer to this. Can you give us the horse who is currently in number 77? Because many of you will know at Midland Park we name all of our syndicates after Roman numerals rather than numbers. I think it just looks a little bit better. So, what is number 77 in Roman numerals? And finally, in this round, question number 10. Who was known as the Lady with a Lamp? Who was known as the Lady with a Lamp? Now, I make that out of 12, that round. I felt it was probably quite tricky, that one, actually. Maybe one of the harder general knowledge ones I've done. I'd probably say, before we give the answers away, if you get anywhere near 8, you've probably done quite well. I think that was quite a tricky round indeed. So if you've missed a question, they should all be in the chat now. Yep, just checked. They're all in the chat now, all the questions. So if your stream dropped out for whatever reason, they should all be there. So I'll give you another 10 seconds or so just to convert, and we will be getting I'll be getting them across. Okay. Right, we'll do the answers then. Start with number 1. That's a logical place to begin. Which jockey rode the most winners in Midland Park Racing Silks in 2019? That was Daniel Tudhope. Danny Tudhope. I think it was 9. I could be wrong, but I think it was 9 he won on. One of, when he was really at his pomp, one of his best rides for us, I think, was on Lexington Law at Thirsk. He was in a claimer. He was in a claimer, probably just a little bit to find with a favourite, and he just quickened it up round the back. They were going a steady pace. He just quickened it up round the back, took it on round the bend. He must have gone 10 lengths clear, and he just hung on. It was one of his "I'm Danny Tudhope, I'm in form, catch me if you can" rides, and it was a real masterclass. If you want to watch that, Lexington Law's most recent win at Thirsk. It's a great ride. Anyway, question 2. On the periodic table of elements, what is Cu? That's copper. The way I remembered that at school was fancy a cuppa, it's copper. Cu, copper. Yeah, don't look at me like that. Mr. Reese, he taught me that. Fancy a cuppa, it's copper. Question number 3. We currently have 2 national hunt horses rated 144. Name them, 1 point for each. One with Paul Nicholls, who was runner-up in the championship this year. That was Red Risk, who romped home to a bloodless victory at Ludlow on only his second start for Midland Park and his owners. He was probably going to go to Ayr this weekend. There's grade 2 up there. I was going to run him up there, but season's over, never mind. But he's one to be on the right side of next year. Loads of improvement in him. Lovely horse. And probably one of the higher profile Midland Park horses of late is Marie's Rock, rated 144. She's only had 3 starts, unbeaten in all of them. Again, a very bloodless victory at Taunton last time. Actually brought me to tears. I was sat here on Emily's birthday and made sure we watched it and cried my little eyes out when she won. And fortunately, she was taken away from the festival despite being anti-post favourite, getting backed all the time, down to about 3-1. She got a small stress fracture, but she's great now, and we will go again next year with her. I don't really know where we'll target her at. There's lots of races in mind, but unfortunately, Mr. Henderson has a very strong hand in the 2-mile hurdling division, and that's unfortunately, where she falls into. So we'll see. Anyway, question number 4. What was the name of a street in Dallas where JFK was assassinated? Now, if you didn't get it, the clue I was going to give was it's also a film franchise, and we have lots of nightmares about it. It was Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street. Elm Street was a street in which JFK was assassinated. Theory, I know. 8 years ago, Midland Park Racing had the first and third of a Nelgwyn. Who were they? The winner was Essentepe or Essentepe, and the third was Lily's Angel. Essentepe had the second colours. I think she was 28s on the day, and Lily's Angel was about 7s in first colours. Great runs by both. Lily's Angel was first season Dark Angel, and Essentepe, SNTP, she was, I want to say Oratorio. She was an Oratorio mare 8 years ago. So I think that's sort of, like I say, almost my first year involved. I said school. I think it was when I was on my way back from uni or something. And that was a story. We were watching the bookies and I cheered a wrong horse home. I thought Lily's Angel had won. That's the Essentepe. Anyway, question number 6. Who plays Ken Barlow in Coronation Street? William Roach. Or Bill Roach. We'll accept Bill Roach, but William Roach. It does exactly what it says on the tin. Was a marketing slogan for which company? Ron Seal. It does exactly what it says on its tin. If you can get hold of any fence paint at this time, well done you. A few of my mates have been trying to get some, to no avail. Who played James Bond in The Living Daylights? I believe he was a one-hit wonder. Only had the one film. Timothy Dalton. It was about cocaine production, that one, wasn't it? Living Daylights was Timothy Dalton. Only that one film, 87, and then there's a big break, longest break in Bond history. This is very boring, I know. Longest break in Bond history before GoldenEye and the new one of Pierce Brosnan. GoldenEye, probably my favourite of the Bond films for those who actually were asking, which is probably no one. Question 9. What is 77 in Roman numerals? Now, I'll say this very carefully. I'll say this only once. L, X, X, V, I, I. L, X, X, V, I, I. And if Mike's in here, who was the horse in there? Oh no, Dad's gone Copper Knight. Well done, Copper Knight. I'll come back to that one. And finally, question 10. Who was known as the Lady with a Lamp? That was Florence Nightingale. I felt it was appropriate to have a nursing medical question. Florence Nightingale. So that should be out of 12. Could be right, Ben. I might have got that one wrong. But anyway, that was out of 12. If you want to post in the chat how you got on. Apparently, Brig Garden Centre's delivering paint if anybody's interested. Emily's currently celebrating as she sold all of the vans, which the paint is being delivered in to them. 2 films. He did do 2, did he? Right, well, I'm an absolute moron. I've been called worse. Probably by most of the people in the chat. Yeah, as I say, I think it was quite a tricky round, that. So I think if you get anywhere near 8, you've done very, very well. That was a tough one. If you got less than 5, don't worry, just get some wine down you and you'll be all right. We're all here for a laugh anyway. Bye, Emily. Okay. So that was round 1, general knowledge. I think everybody's done pretty okay in there. Rightio, on to round 2, which is your music round. I'm going to try and do, well, I have done it similar to last week, where we'll do 2 from the 60s, 2 questions from the 70s, 2 from the 80s, 2 from the 90s, and 2 from the noughties. So there's a little bit for everybody in there. Everybody's at a certain disadvantage unless you know all the music that there is. There's a little bit of lyrics in there, a little bit of years, a little bit of multiple choice, bit of everything in there. So it is actually, I think it's the most valuable round tonight. It's out of 14, so do pay attention. This is where you make your big numbers up, your big points up out of 14. Okay. Yeah, a few people saying Dealey Plaza is correct as well. I will check that. I think you're probably right. It's probably the Plaza where it was. I think it was on 2 Elm Street that he was actually shot on. Anyway, onto the music round, and as I say, I'll come back. Question 1. Who had a hit with Mrs. Robinson? This is obviously from the 60s. Who had a hit with Mrs. Robinson? I'm going to try and kick on a little bit of. I'm going to try and keep it as close to an hour as I possibly can. Question 2. Why can't you see what you're doing to me when you don't believe a word I say? Which song are those lyrics from? Why can't you see what you're doing to me when you don't believe a word I say? Which song is that from? It's very tough to not sing it. So that was 60s as well. On to the 70s. It's a multiple answer. Let's pick the letter. In which year were the police sending a message in a bottle? In which year were the police sending a message in a bottle? A, 1977. B, 1978. Or C, 1979. A, 1977. B, 1978. C, 1979. In which year were the police sending a message in the bottle? If you don't know, take a guess. You've got a 1 in 3 chance of getting it right. It's the beauty of these questions. Obviously, that's a 70s question. Question number 4. Who was the lead singer of Blondie? Who was the lead singer of Blondie? Now, you might argue that slightly creeps over into a few other decades, but predominantly 70s, I think. Who was the lead singer of Blondie? Bearing in mind, this is a good 20 years before I was born. So, who was the lead singer of Blondie? Question number 5. We're sneaking into the 80s now. Who sang the 1988 hit A Little Respect? Who sang the 1988 hit A Little Respect? That should give me no reason. Yeah, another 80s. Harry Truman, Doris Day, Red China, and Johnny Ray, all feature in which 1989 song? Harry Truman, Doris Day, Red China, and Johnny Ray, all feature in which 1989 song? There's a slight clue here. I could have been a lot worse for that song. I could have messed it up a little bit more, mixed it all up a little bit more. Harry Truman, Doris Day, Red China, and Johnny Ray. We're going to sneak into the 90s now. Brilliant decade. Which band were losing their religion in 1991? Which band were losing their religion in 1991? Which band were losing their religion in 1991? I didn't realise it was that old. I thought it was a little bit more recent than that. Now, one for Johnny Fox, potentially for next week. Here's some inspiration. Name the 5 Spice Girls. Point for each. And I want their Spice Girls names, not their actual names. So, something Spice. That's not one. Something Spice. Name the 5 Spice Girls. A point for each. Next one's a bit of a stinker, actually. I did really toy about putting this in or not, but it's a bit of a stinker. Obviously, we're into the naughties now. And you might say this question's a bit naughty. Number 9. What is the singer Adele's surname? Now, I didn't know this until I Googled it. Don't Google it, obviously, until after. I'll tell you the answer, so there's no need to Google it. What is the singer Adele's surname? And finally, question 10. Which country did Razorlight have a #1 hit about in 2006? Which country did Razorlight have a #1 hit about in 2006? No, Bill. I appreciate you're a massive fan. I've seen you dancing in Pop World to them. But no, just the 5 points. I can't go giving away points. Come on. Adele Spice. No. Okay. Finally, question 10 again. Which country did Razorlight have a #1 hit about in 2006? So that's your music round. I'd make that out of 14. A big round. Just give you another 10 seconds to confer. Maybe get your Spice Girls in again. And we'll go through the answers. Up at well over 100. Been steady there all night, really. So thank you to everybody who's joined in, and I hope you're enjoying it, and we'll try and continue this each week as well. Obviously, if you've got any pictures of you lot enjoying the quiz, or tolerating the quiz, whichever way you want to look at it, please do take a couple of pictures, send them on. It'd be great to see how everybody's spending their time, and hopefully we can create a bit of a family atmosphere like that. Anyway, on to the answers. Question 1 of the music round was, who had a hit with Mrs. Robinson? That was Simon and Garfunkel. Simon and Garfunkel. Question 2, why can't you see what you're doing to me when you don't believe a word I say? That was which song? That was Suspicious Minds by Elvis Presley. Number 3, in which year were the police sending a message in a bottle? That was C, 1979. I appreciate that just sneaks into the 70s, but 1979. That is a terrible joke, that. If you get the Spice Girls question right, do you get do 2 points become 1? I'm thinking about kicking him from the chat. Who was the lead singer of Blondie? Debbie Harry. I appreciate that band kind of came across from the 70s, 80s, but probably more of their hits and songs were released and recorded in the 70s. So snuck in there. Debbie Harry, anyway. Question 5, who sang the 1988 hit A Little Respect? That was Eurasia, been covered by many a band, but Eurasia were the original. Question 6, Harry Truman, Doris Day, Red China, Johnny Ray all feature in which 1989 song? We Didn't Start the Fire. Emily loves him. I'm actually in the top 1% of all Billy Joel fans on Spotify in the entire world. That is very, very sad. about 2 days before they stopped flying to America, before we got put in lockdown. I was supposed to go to New York, obviously, to see Billy Joel. Emily got me it for Christmas. So it was only a matter of time before a Billy Joel question was involved. But we didn't start a fire. And I could have just taken one from each verse. It's a very clever song. If you've not listened to it, please do. It's a very, very clever song. Question 7. Which band were losing their religion in 91? That was R.E.M. R.E.M. Brilliant song again. There's a really good performance of them doing it live on YouTube, performing the song on YouTube at Trafalgar Square, if you want to watch that. It's very, very good indeed. Right, the Spice Girls question. Johnny Fox, pay special attention. Name the 5 Spice Girls for each point. So we had Ginger, Sporty, Posh, Baby, and Scary. If you got their real names as well, just for gigs, well done. I think I know more. Jerry, well, what is she now? It was Jerry Halliwell, but she's Jerry, married to your man from Red Bull. Horner, innit? Jerry Horner. Melanie Chisholm, Victoria Beckham, Emma Bunton, Melanie. Oh, what's a B? Anybody help me out with a B? What's a B? Getting Brown, Melanie Brown. Anyway, we'll come back to that. That's a good question. What is the singer Adele's surname? Adkins. No, she's not related to the physio at Scunny who took over as manager. Adele Adkins. And finally, question 10. For Cats here. Number 10. Which country did Ray's Light have a #1 hit about in 2006? That was America. America, probably one of my least favourite ones. Everybody's saying it's Melanie Brown for the Spice Girl. So that was out of 14. How did we fare? Please post in my chat. I was wondering how long before Sprout was in my chat. You do very well to type. Lots of 12s. Well done. I think in that one, double figures. Double figures would be very good effort. 12s, 14s, 14s. Well done, the Dykes clan. Yeah, the Dykes clan are smashing it there. Lots of double figures. Well done, everybody. Okay, good effort. Good effort, everybody. Now, the old favourite, round 3, Blockbuster. I couldn't get rid of it. Just made my life a bit easier than true or false, I must be perfectly honest. So I'm delighted to see Blockbuster back. I was just wondering if anybody wanted to change. Now, let's take a quick break for everybody to recharge your glasses. You might see it's getting a little bit low there. If you want to post how many you're on altogether after your first 2 rounds, great. 1 week we'll do a cricket round, Bradley. I'm sure I can hear the Grahams now. Absolutely delighted at that. We will do it. Billy and Phil, that noise is just for you. Okay, right, on to the Blockbuster Round. For those who haven't played this before, I'll just give a quick rundown. What I'll give you is a letter. The letter is the first letter of the answer, basically, the first letter of the word of the answer. So I'll give you a clue, including the first letter of a word for the answer. It should become obvious as we go on. So, question 1: what W goes before form, band, equation, and length? What W goes before form, band, equation, and length? Sprout. What W goes before form, band, equation, and length? There's a little cat here. That's a famous sprout. Now go away. Question number 2. What M is an article of clothing where the hem is at least 4 inches above the knee? What M is an article of clothing where the hem is at least 4 inches above the knee? That does actually have 2 words. The answer. I'm not sure if it's hyphenated. I think it's 2 words. M is just the first letter of the first word. What M is an article of clothing where the hem is at least 4 inches above the knee? Question number 3. Which A won 5 races for Midland Park and was named after a Man City striker? Which A won 5 races for Midland Park and was named after a Man City striker? No bonus point, but try and get the number of letters correct. I wouldn't know the specifications of a kilt. Actually, something I don't know. So if you'd like to enlighten us, please, that would be great. What are the specifications? Hi, Ian. Hi, Ian. Anyway, question number 4. What U is the independent republic whose capital is Kiev? Now, come on, Milk. You've got to know this one. What U is the independent republic whose capital is Kiev? Rashford's double only won the 3, as Bradley Hodgson well knows. Probably his second favourite horse after Warif, who we had last week. Bradley Hodgson loves Rashford's double. Question number 5. I don't know why I've done it like this. Sorry. Question number 5. I've got the first letter of the first word and the first letter of the second word. Which SC takes place at Ascot in August? Which SC takes place at Ascot in August? Question number 6. What W was the name of a Formula One team that Nigel Mansell drove for? What W was the name of a Formula One team that Nigel Mansell drove for? Now that's the Tom Milner question. And I appreciate you tuning into the quiz rather than watching the Formula One that was on. Great, the numbers actually went down just as I said that. Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you. Please, happy to remind you that it's on. Question number 7. What P is the name of a chauffeur who drives Lady Penelope in Thunderbirds? What P is the name of a chauffeur who drives Lady Penelope in Thunderbirds? No bonus point, but bonus kudos, bonus credit if you can get the other big show of a similar ilk from a similar era that Jerry Anderson created. Linda, you've really got to start setting some alarms for these. But it's great to have you here anyway. 8 p.m. every Sunday. Question number 8. Which O is given to a horse who has the lowest chance of winning in a race? Or the highest odds? Which O is the name given to a horse who has the lowest chance of winning in a race? No, don't say one of ours. Question number 9. Another brain teaser one. Which F goes before paper, trap, and spray? Which F goes before paper, trap, and spray? Thank you, Bradley. And at the end of this round, I'd like to know what you're all drinking as well. Let's start sharing that. It shouldn't just be me who's sharing what we're drinking. We're here. We're one big community who's drinking together. That's the only reason we're here doing this quiz. It's an excuse to get drunk on a Sunday. And finally, in round 3 of Blockbuster, what B were codenamed Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno, and Sword for the Normandy landings on D-Day? What B were codenamed Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno, and Sword for the Normandy landings on D-Day? Hey, Sprout. Apparently you're drinking double cream. Don't know how you managed to type that through there, but well done, mate. Okay, so that completes the Blockbuster round. Obviously, that's out of 10. Let's give you another minute, well, 30 seconds or so to go through, and then we'll go through the answers, obviously, again. Post it at the end of the round, at the end of the answers. How are you getting on? Again, for those who've been here before, what we'll do is at the end of the quiz, we'll post on Facebook and Twitter a post. And what we'd like you to do is just engage with that, how you've got on. Let us know your scores, and we'll get a rough idea of who's towards a winner. We're all winners here. We're all passing an hour or so of our life, hopefully in the company of fellow like-minded people. We're here to have a bit of fun. And obviously, if you've got any pictures, or if you could get some pictures of you and your family enjoying this, that'd be great to pass on. Okay, right, we'll go through the answers. Round 3, Blockbuster. Question 1. What W goes before form, band, equation, and length? That's wave, waveform, wave band, wave equation, wave length. What M is an article of clothing where the hem is at least 4 inches above the knee? Mini skirt. It's a mini skirt. Question 3. Which A won 5 races for us and was named after a Man City striker? Well, that's Aguero! And that's where he was named after. The famous moment when Man City won their first Premier League. You'll never see anything like this again. Rest is history. What U is the independent republic whose capital is Kiev? What U is the independent republic whose capital is Kiev? That's for Ukraine, or Ukraine. Question 5. Which SC takes place at Ascot in August? Sugar Cup. The Sugar Cup takes place at Ascot in August. Now, it gets a bit of a bad press for Sugar Cup. I think it's pretty all right. It's decent money. It's very level. You can get some good jockeys. Obviously, you can get some bad jockeys. It's not for everybody in that respect. But one of my fondest memories from racing, the first horse I ever bought, Annunciation. He participated in the Sugar Cup, and it was farcical how he managed to win one. Gary Stevens, who was a jockey who won his first Breeders' Cup in the year I was born, riding the first horse I ever bought. It was 6.5 lengths off, not the lead, off the pack at Ascot at halfway. And he managed to power home and get up in the shadows of a line. One of the best days racing I've ever been to. It was fantastic. Was the Sugar Cup? That's a Sugar Cup sprint. Watch that if you really want to watch a patient ride at Ascot. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous how he won. Anyway, question 6. What W was the name of a Formula One team that Nigel Mansell drove for? Williams. What P is the name of a chauffeur who drives Lady Penelope in Thunderbirds? Parker. Jerry Anderson also created Captain Scarlet. If you got it, if you managed to pop that one down, Captain Scarlet. So yeah, Parker. Question 8. Which O was given to a horse with the outs? Which horse is a name given to a horse with the lowest chance of winning the race? That's the outsider, not ours. It's the outsider. And number 9, another brain teaser. Which F goes before paper, trap, and spray? Fly. Fly paper, fly trap, fly spray. And finally, question 10. Which B was codenamed Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno, and Sword for the Normandy landings on D-Day? That was Beaches. Also, the follow-up film from Titanic for Leo DiCaprio, of which Pure Shores is the theme song. Anyway, so that one was out of 10. How'd you get on? Oh, Russell, you love Blockbuster. You do so well in that. Mind you, I don't think it's you, is it? It's actually your good lady wife who does that, I believe you telling me once. Hey, everybody's done really well. I don't know about that round. I think, let's say 8 or above, you've done really well. 8 or above, you've done very well. And obviously post your total as well. And again, feel free to post whatever drink you're having. Everyone's done really well. Jesus, right, I'll make these harder next week. Linda, come on. Okay, right. And I've managed to lose everyone. There we go. We're back. There's always next week, correct. There is, unfortunately. There's always going to be next week. Right, well, we'll go into the final question asking round anyway. And it's the sport round. Sport round, that's not going to go anywhere. We're not going to take a vote on that. We're all here because we all like sport. So, question 1, round 4, sport round. Which team has won the FA Cup the most times? Which team has won the FA Cup the most times? This one's only out of 6, by the way, to make it a nice 55 total. So it's only going to be 6 sport questions. Which team has won the FA Cup the most times? Have a good little think on that one. We don't ask that many football questions in the last couple of weeks, I don't think. ...104 links have been watched, so I dread to think how many people are here, but thank you once again for joining us. I hope you're having an enjoyable Sunday. Question number 2. Who is England's leading test run scorer? Who is England's leading test run scorer? I think you should probably watch this person's Bob Willis impression as well when he comes on to bowl. And I'm just begging that Lewis Barnes is in the chat and can pop the chant in there. God bless the cricket question. Love the reaction. Okay, a multiple choice sport question. Name the 4 tennis Grand Slams. Name the 4 tennis Grand Slams, please. You just know there's going to be a cricket question every week. At least one. Good old Bradley. I will find the link to. Should be on our website, I hope, if we've not got the picture round. I'm sure we'll be able to post the link momentarily anyway, in the chat, just to help people who haven't seen it. If you've not seen it anyway, I'm sure we'll find a link to it. So the 4 tennis Grand Slams. Question number 4. In which country is the Interlagos circuit? In which country is the Interlagos circuit? I don't get why people are anti-cricket. It's a brilliant sport. Brilliant sport. It takes forever. That's what's so good about it. Okay, the picture round has just been posted. If you want to have a little look at that, so I'll give everybody a couple of minutes. Thank you, guys. I've just been bombarded with a link now. If you want to have a quick look at that, if you've not got the picture round so far. Question number 5. How long is an Olympic swimming pool? How long is an Olympic swimming pool? Not wide. Big fish, little fish. How long is an Olympic swimming pool? And finally, the last asking question. What is a maximum break in snooker? What is a maximum possible break in snooker? So that should complete all of the questions that we're going to ask. I'll just allow a little bit more time for those who haven't seen the picture round just yet. Obviously, we've got the answers to do, and as I say, I'll give you another minute or so to go through that. Yes, I appreciate that, Bill. I've got a good question for next week, actually. On that, go on then. Remind me in the middle of part of the week. If Ian, if you're thinking about faults and things, maybe not. Okay, right. We will go into the answers for the sport. I make it out of 9 in the sport round. Which team has won the most FA Cups? Arsenal. Arsenal have won the most FA Cups. Who is England's leading test run scorer? That's Alistair Cook. By some way, I bet it's north of, I think, 4,000 runs. He's the top run scorer by. And we're yet to really replace him and Andrew Strauss. Is he Sir? No, it's just Andrew Strauss OBE, isn't it? At a minute. But we're yet to really replace him at the top of the order. We tried Jason Roy, didn't we, and all that recently, but no. Anyway, question 3. Name the 4 tennis Grand Slams. That's the Australian Open, Wimbledon, the US Open and the French Open. Australian Open, Wimbledon, US Open, French Open. Question number 4. In which country is the Interlagos circuit? That's Brazil. Always used to be the second Grand Prix on the Formula One circuit, didn't it? And now I think it's been moved to the last. It used to get too wet, didn't it, during the second one? It went Australia, then Brazil. I think it was just on the edge of a rainy season in the Southern Hemisphere. So we moved it to the last-ish, well, before Abu Dhabi, but all the final one, but it was the second last or the last race, wasn't it? Anyway, I digress yet again. Question number 5. How long is an Olympic swimming pool? That's 50 metres. 50 metres. Which was, funnily enough, the furthest swimming badge I got. So if you're 51 metres away from me in any body of water, you are fine. And finally, question number 6. What is a maximum break in snooker? 147. 147. That's the highest additional break, not anything with ball, free ball, anything like that. Well, anyway, 147 was the answer we were looking for. If you got anything else, you're wrong. It's 147. So, how did you get on in the sport round? Do you know what? Because we're all on lockdown, sorry, 155 and 147, you can all have it. If you've got 155, 147, you can have the answer. I'm not here to be a dictator. We're all here for a bit of fun. Okay, lots of good numbers there. 8s, 9s, 7s, even the odd cricket question. If you got them both, Brandon, you managed to get 10. Fair play, pal. Okay, so that's the end of the questions we're asking. Just hope that everybody has had fun in that. Now, I hope I've given you all enough time to do the picture round if you haven't seen it. The link's obviously been posted. Now, I must really thank Tom Denham for this. He's absolutely done me up a kipper here. Pronouncing words is not my strong point, especially as a dyslexic as well. And a dyslexic who's had a fair few beers and a bit of wine today. And there's a few of these answers I am going to get absolutely nowhere near. Anyway, so your picture round answers, obviously these are out of 10, 1 for each. We don't need where they're from, we just need what they actually are. And I'm really going to apologise now for murdering some of these. So number 1, the Taj Mahal. Number 2, Christ the Redeemer. Number 3, Neuschwanstein Castle. Neuschwanstein Castle. Number 4, the Colosseum. Number 5, the ancient city of Petra. Number 6, St. Basil's Cathedral. Number 7, the Vatican City. Number 8, the Burj Khalifa. Number 9, the Acropolis, I think. Number 10, the Golden Gate Bridge. Now, I'm very sorry for people who've been there or have any affiliation with those places. I think that castle was actually used on Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, was it? It certainly looks a damn sight like it was. So, how did you get on in that round? And obviously, if you could also post your total score, your final score as well, that'd be great. We've just gone over the hour. Probably took me a good few seconds here to try and pronounce that one. But if you post what you got, it should be out of 55. I make it. I think in total, if you get more than 30, 36, if you get more than 36 today, you've done very, very well. And if you get more than 36, you've done well. It was a bits and bobs quiz tonight, I think. I think there's a few what you deem easy, what I think you deem tough ones. So if it's both Toms who slightly messed up here, then do you know what? If Mike Austin's saying that's true, that's right. If he's saying it's true, it's right. I trust him. So either of the things I've just posted in the chat for the Greece question. There you go. Fun fact about Greece: it's not actually got as big a population as everybody thinks. It's I think it's just below Jordan on its population. It's not as big as people think. So anyway, I've taken up enough of your time on a Sunday evening. I'm sure you're all wanting to go away and watch the rest of that music thing that was on. So thank you very much for joining us once again. If you'd all like to, as I say, engage in the chats, engage in the posts we pop on. If you would like to also send on some pictures of you guys enjoying it, that'd be great. And we'll do this all again next week, hopefully. Stay safe, have fun, and we will meet again.